Here we've got the Digital Designs 2508C D2 supercharged. Supercharged. If you don't know what the supercharged option is, under the dust cap right on top of the pole, there's a slug of Neo that is in there. That leads me to the first point of it, is that creates a really messed up flux field. So you have the forward stroke here where there's some motor force, and then it gets to a certain point that drops off, and then that other slug of Neo kicks in. So you have a little gap there. It'll make it sound really weird. It's supposed to be for additional motor force, but in actuality the motor's actually still very weak in comparison to several other drivers. Keeping in mind this sub is over $300. I think it's up around $350 MSRP, but I could be mistaken. The overall build quality of this is pretty poor. The dust cap itself you can actually poke in very easily on a very small dust cap. In typical DD fashion, the cone itself is very thin and can bend very easily. A lot of that support from the cone is actually coming from the dust cap, so that does help some. There's a lot of random glue in the actual build around the cone and the coil, which I don't think you can really see here. But down around the leads, there's a bunch that goes down over where the leads pop up, and on one side we don't have any glue on the former, and on the other side it's completely covered. So it's inconsistent as well. Right down here there's a lot of extra glue that's just on the other rolls, so you can tell it was definitely made by hand by somebody who doesn't do glue very well. It is a 2.5 roll spider, so you have some limitations there by putting a bigger coil on a smaller landing. So it does not have the throw that another sub might have in a smaller coil. So having the larger coil is actually a bad thing in this scenario with this basket. The leads themselves actually go through the two spiders. That's all fine and dandy when you're using it now, but over time eventually those leads will wear through the spiders and just cut through them, which will change your suspension compliance and basically make it useless. Then you have to get it reconed. The spiders themselves, because it is 2.5 rolls, it is a progressive roll, and when you push forward on it, you probably can't tell it in the video, but it actually goes to a point and all of a sudden it gets really loose. It's called tin canning. The actual rolls themselves flatten out at the very bottom, so it goes from a gradual curve to just flat out. That also will not sound very good. The surround itself, they make quite a few claims on excursion, but the surround is not very large at all. Same thing that you would find on a 8 that has maybe 10 millimeters of throw, which is essentially what you end up with before you start breaking things on this driver. One thing that they do claim is the Made in the USA sticker. If this is the kind of stuff that we're making in the US, it kind of makes me want to move to Canada, so I'm not part of that problem. I have seen a lot of drivers from other countries, including China, that are built far better than this. It does feature a stamped steel basket, which is very easy to break when you put such a large motor on it. That kind of goes with the overall build quality. It's just very poor. Again, the sub is over $300, and it has a stamped steel basket. I have seen people mention that they said that, well, DD tooled this basket just for this driver. Well, no, they didn't. There are some other 8s that are made in China that you can see that also have this. Cadence has one that is very similar, and there are some other drivers that also use it. It is nothing special. It is just off-the-shelf parts from China, so those aren't made here either. I think that pretty well sums up a lot of the grievances here. We will have some performance testing in a daily box, playing music, and in an SPL box. Oh, one other thing, the extra glue right here from the gluing the backplate on, there's just a lot of extra. It's just dripping over. just hanging out there. So performance review will be coming along with this video. So this is the Digital Designs 2508 Supercharged. I've got a DD2508C Supercharged. We are clamping power on that as well. And here we go. The last burp of 3,000 watts, it made it really smelly. How much power?
3,060.
3,060 watts does a 148.6.